Hello everyone, and today I'm taking a look at Drag Race's clutch challenge wins. These are times where Queen very desperately needed to take home a win, and they did. First up, to keep things topical, from Season 16, we have Nymphia Wind winning the Episode 14 Branding Challenge. Looking at the win distribution at the Final Four, things aren't bad, but they're not good. In terms of wins, Sapphira and Plain are at 4, Nymphia is at 2, and Q is at 2. This is not an insurmountably bad position, but it could definitely be a lot better. At this point, it is literally impossible for Nymphia to have the most wins going into the finale. To make things even worse, Nymphia was starting to lose a bit of that momentum she had at the start of the season. For the first few episodes, she was doing flawless in the competition, she was getting wins and high placements left and right, but for the episodes leading up to the Final Four, things were not going as well. She bombed Snatch Game and placed low, redeemed herself with the Design Challenge, was, as far as we know at the time, saved by that immunity potion, high in the improv, low in the design, and then high for the makeover. This is not bad by any means, but when you're going up against someone like Plain or Sapphira with 4 wins who has been slaying, every single placement counts. Nymphia came to slay. I don't know what had been happening for these previous weeks because some of the challenges were in her skill set, but Nymphia dialed literally everything up to 11 in terms of the charisma, posing for RuPaul, the runway. This was just Nymphia's week, and while Sapphira did a very good job too, Nymphia would end up getting the win, giving us a finale win distribution of 3-4-4. While she did still end up with the worst track record going into the finale, she was able to use the momentum from this win to not only win the fan vote, but to absolutely dominate. Yes, her finale performance was great on its own, but based off the fan reception she got from this episode, I don't know if a Nymphia win would have been as likely had she not won this challenge. Next up, from All-Star 6, we have Eureka winning the Episode 11 Comedy Challenge. Looking at the win distribution going into this challenge, it is really bad for Eureka. Trinity K. Bonet is at 2, Raja is at 2, Ginger is at 2, Kylie is at 1, and Eureka has 0. To make things even worse, Eureka had just been voted out of the competition 4-1. Due to the lip sync smackdown, Eureka was very narrowly able to edge out Silky for a spot in the final 5, returning to the competition, but if there was ever a time to win, it is this week. The writing is very much on the wall here that if she does not win this challenge, she's not only gone, but I think the fan reception would be that Eureka stole that returning spot from Silky and did nothing with it. This challenge is an absolute bloodbath. When I was watching it live, I was somewhat torn between Kylie and Eureka. Having watched the challenge back now for this video, Eureka mopped the floor with everyone else in this cast. Eureka was at like a 10, and Kylie, who was second place, was at like a 6 or a 7. This was absolute domination, and Eureka very much proved why she came back. While in the end, she didn't end up taking home the win, I think she gained a lot more respect from the fanbase for making it to the end twice, and she was able to win like 25k in that episode, so good for Eureka. Next up, we have Bosco winning the Season 14, Episode 14 Roast. On Season 14, Bosco was very much an early frontrunner. Her talent show was a solid 3rd, she was able to dominate in the Branding Advertising Challenge, and she had all-around great showings in Daytona Wind, girl groups, and DragCon panels. Around the midpoint of the season, while I wouldn't put her over Angie or Willow, based off what we'd seen, Bosco was a lock for the finale. Then we arrive at the Snatch Game to end all Snatch Games. Regardless of whether it was reality or just the edit, everyone ends up in the bottom, ultimately destroying the momentum of multiple frontrunners. As a result of bombed Snatch Game, she now has to go into the Lip Sync Smackdown to see who RuPaul eliminates. Bosco is in the bottom 3 times in one episode, and while she is able to very narrowly pull out a win against Jasmine Kennedy, things are not looking good. Then we arrive at the Rusical, where Bosco fights incredibly hard for the role of Saltine, bombs the challenge, and is then voted to go home by 6 other competitors. Then she lip syncs against Georges, loses the lip sync, and is saved by the chocolate bar. These 3 episodes destroy any momentum Bosco could have had, and at this point, she might not even make the finale. Looking at Bosco's skill set and the remaining challenges, The roast is the last chance she has. She's probably not winning a remix over someone like Willow or Camden. If she does not win this roast, she is not making the finale. Looking at the challenge performances, Willow and Camden are both able to put up a very strong fight, but ultimately Bosco takes it home. Almost entirely due to Bosco winning this challenge, she places low in the remix and is not eliminated, meaning she makes it to the finale. Does she win? No. Would she have made it to the finale had she not won this? I don't think so. The main reason for Drag Race doing a final 5 was that there was no clear queen to eliminate. If Bosco never got this redemption and bombed the remix, I think she would have ended up in the bottom with either Angie or Willow and gets eliminated in 5th place. Next up, we have Naomi Smalls winning the All-Stars 4 Episode 8 Makeover. All-Stars 4 Naomi had an incredibly underrated start. Not only was she able to up her fashion game even more, she was able to redeem a lot of her weaker challenge performances from Season 8. Season 8 didn't have a talent show, but she did a great job there. In girl groups, she was able to maintain a high placement from both this season and her original. In Snatch Game, she was able to go from almost going home to narrowly losing out for a top 2 slot. Then in the improv challenge, it was just an all-around good job. Then for the middle portion of the season, Naomi starts to flop ever so slightly. The first final 6 challenge is the Rusical, and Naomi does not do well. Comedy challenges have never been 100% in Naomi's wheelhouse. Sadly for Naomi, she is just not able to get it together this week and places in the bottom, and in my opinion, if there was a bottom 2, she would probably be a part of it. No one chooses her lip sync, and we move on to the second final 7 challenge, which is Club Design. Is Naomi's performance in this challenge iconic? Absolutely. Did she end up in the bottom for this challenge though? Yes. Regardless of how you think the season should have gone, she did end up in the bottom, meaning she was in the bottom twice and very narrowly eliminated. I think that if Valentina had done a bit better in the competition or just toned down her diva-ness, there is a legitimate shot Naomi might have gone here. Episode 8 is the makeover, and Naomi finally gets a win. She knocks it out of the park, and she eliminates Manila, who is a frontrunner. Now normally, this could just go down as a good strategic move on its own, but what makes this a clutch challenge win is what Naomi was able to do with it long term. Number 1, the more medium-term result is All-Stars 4. Manila is now gone, Naomi is no longer at the bottom of the competition, and a lot of people will eliminate Latrice long before Naomi. Keeping that in mind, Naomi almost certainly saved herself in the Episode 5 acting challenge and moves on to the finale. In the end, she ties for 3rd, but that is a lot better than 5th. Monet and Naomi both chose Manila to go home. Production's hand was forced, and they had to get rid of her. As a result of this, going forward, production went with the Top All-Star of the Week format. Because everyone gets an equal say, this format is incredibly rigged against making big moves. Due to this, we end up with Shea and Jimbo as 2 of the most obvious winners of all time, and while I can't really blame Naomi for being why All-Stars is what it is right now, her move to get rid of Manila is one of the biggest game-changing moves in Drag Race history, and it very much defined her career. If that is not a clutch win, I don't know what is. Next up, we have a very simple one, Katya winning the All-Stars 2 Episode 7 Makeover. Looking at the final 5 of All-Stars 2, Katya is not in a great position. She has 2 wins, but she's been in the bottom twice, and it is very clear that everyone around her is playing strategy. What makes that even worse is the fact that every other competitor left in the competition is from the final 6 of Season 5. These queens are incredibly tight with each other, and Katya is very likely on the chopping block if she lands in the bottom. Luckily for Katya, she dominates the makeover. It was a great performance, and while she doesn't win the lip sync, she does move on to the final 4. I will add though that since Detox was not going to send home Alaska or Roxy, if it came down to Katya versus Alyssa, it is more than likely based off how much Detox was crying that Katya was gone. Just like some of the other entries on this list, Katya did not take home the crown. With that out of the way, Katya getting this challenge win very much boosted her status going into the finale. Did she win in the end? No, but I do think that the Katya was robbed sentiment very much helped her career, so for that, This was a very clutch challenge win. Finally, we have a very obvious one, Shea Coulee winning the All-Star 7 Episode 11 talent show. From episodes 2 through 10, Shea Coulee has been the bridesmaid, never the bride. She was able to get 1 challenge win and 1 star earlier in the season. Outside of that, she has just been coasting along. In the challenges, she has been doing consistently good, arguably earning a few wins. In reality though, she only has that 1 star. As great as high placements are, they don't really mean anything when you're not making it to the finale. Luckily for Shea, the ridiculous 3-star twist is announced, and Shea now has a legitimate shot at making it to the finale. All she has to do is win the variety show, which she does. She wins the challenge in the lip sync, getting her score up to 4 stars, giving her a guaranteed slot in the finale along with Monet, Jinx, and Trinity. It is not even speculation to say that if Shea Coulee did not win this challenge, she would have tied for 5th place, which, while not bad on an all-winner season, is not particularly good for your standing as a winner within the fanbase. As is the case with almost everyone on this list but Nymphia, Shea Coulee does not win the season. She lip-syncs against Jinx to Judas, it does not go well, and she is eliminated alongside Trinity in 3rd/4th place yet again. In the end, I don't know if I would count this as a clutch challenge win for her standing within the fanbase, but I will absolutely be counting it as a clutch challenge win for her standing as a competitor.
Hey, it's Drag Race Rejudged. Do you want gay shit? Well then check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged YouTube channel and hit subscribe.